I think it was Friday, and I had just gotten the idea to build an installation, like a place for recovery or rehabilitation or something like that. I wanted to have something so-called natural in that installation. And I remembered seeing this big pine branch not too far away from my home, maybe like 1 kilometer away, maybe a little bit less. And it was snowing a lot. It was like a blizzard almost. And first I shoveled the snow from our yard, and then I left for the pine branch. I left to get the pine branch, and I walked there through this path that go through community gardens, and I walked up the hill, and I was nervous about whether the branch would still be there, because it was so fine branch that maybe someone else could have taken it already. But then I got there, and there it was, next to a park bench. And then I grabbed it. First I lifted it on my shoulder. It was quite heavy. And I tried to, it was snowing like hell, and I tried to carry it on my shoulder, and ended up realizing that it's too heavy to carry for 1 kilometer home. So I tried to figure out how to do that. I ended up dragging it behind me almost the whole way. There was this part in the branch which was kind of like a handle, so I grabbed the handle and dragged it like an ox makes a field. And I dragged it, and I was leaving behind this like a shovel path in the freshly fallen snow. And I was sweating so much. It was so heavy, so hard work, but I really enjoyed it because I really felt like an ox making a field. And an elderly man came across me on my way and just said that I'm making a neat work with my branch, making that path onto the ground or into the snow. And I just smiled and said that yes, I'm here. And just because of that, I'm making a path with this tool. And I had to stop something like 3 times at least to take some rest and put down the branch, and then I continued again. And I remember my shoulders. No, my forearms were really tired and aching because of having such a tight grip on the branch. But finally I got home with the branch and put it onto our porch, and there it has been since. It was a Tuesday. I left home for Töölö Hospital to pick up a bunch of bed linen. Old hospital bed linen from hospital laundry. I had made a deal in advance because I thought I was going to build a den, like a sanctuary, kind of like a tent, where I or someone else could, I don't know, encounter themselves. So I figured I needed these textiles. I then got to Töölö Hospital. Like the information desk, and asked for a package that I knew that should be there for me. They had a white plastic bag with my name on it, approximately something like 30 times 30 centimeters. And the linen in it were so heavy that the handles of the bag were already almost ripped. But I had taken these canvas bags with me, so I tucked the bed linen into these bags that I had and into my backpack. And then I left Töölö Hospital carrying one canvas bag on each shoulder and a backpack full of bed linen. They were really heavy. Once again I felt like a donkey carrying the possessions of their owner. I had a whole day ahead of me, so I carried this linen around Helsinki city center for half a day. When I get home, I knew already that actually I probably wouldn't be using these textiles after all. So now they are there in a shelf in my room, reminding me of this den, this sanctuary that I thought would be some kind of a solution for emotions caused by climate change. I have here a bunch of paper. There are a few sheets of A4s and even more sheets of A3s. And there are these patterns for seal softy in them. I traveled to Arabia to print out these patterns. I thought that I would make a softie, like a soft toy, to offer also like a point of consolation. Yeah. There are many different kinds of patterns. I thought that I'd make my own out of these. And I thought that a seal would somehow be, actually saimaannorppa in Finnish, would be something to relate to here in Helsinki, here in Finland. Like as a nearly extinct species. And I thought that this seal softie would be a reminder of, like a memory of something that used to be, and that it would at the same time be something consoling, something to reminiscent, but being soft fabric, soft blue velvet. It would be nice to pet and nice to nurture oneself with. I still don't know what to make out of this, what to think of this. On one hand, I do feel like just a simple act of petting something might be consoling, but at the same time it's such a naive perspective, and makes me encounter my privilege living here in global north, offering a softie as a resolution for climate change. I wanted the softie to be really soft, the seal, and I wanted it to be blue because blue is the color of grief, stereotypically enough. And I had in mind this velour fabric that was used in, I guess, in 70s and 80s in tracksuits of sports teams. So I spent afternoons in couple of days going through recycling centers and flea markets to find those velour shirts or trousers. Couldn't find them, couldn't even actually reason to myself that decision in any other way than that the velour would just feel nice and soft. But then I went to Fida and I found this velour, or actually velvet dress or velvet robe. And I figured that this is soft enough. This is soft enough for the seal. At that point, I wasn't really sure if I could make the seal after all, because my reasoning for that had already started to crumble. But I was still, as I didn't know what else to do, I was still going from flea market to flea market, and then eventually bought this velvet robe. It didn't become a seal, but it became something else. The fact that I thought that it would be a seal brought a completely new meaning to it. Also the fact that I had thought it as a representative of sorrow gave it another meaning.